Bong. How y'all doing out there? I want to talk about two movies that are very similar, and that's The Black Hole, released in 1979, and Event Horizon, that was released in 1997. The Black Hole, released in 1979, is a film about a mysterious black hole that leads to hell. Event Horizon, released in 1997, is about a black hole that leads to hell. It's amazing how these two films correspond with each other, with them being released at such different times. No, they're not identical in execution. The Black Hole, that film released in 1979, features some hokiness, where Event Horizon, there is none. Most of the hokiness comes from the robots in the Black Hole film. Um, the androids and the robot AI was something that Event Horizon stayed away from. They just gave us a straightforward plot of humans against true evil. The horror aspect of Event Horizon made it one of the scariest movies of the time. It's now became a cult classic, even though it wasn't just received with high regards when it came out. Just the transition alone that I'm showing you sets the eerie tone for the film. The Black Hole felt somewhat like a literal prequel to Event Horizon, and you'll understand more what I mean as I go through the plots of both films. Of course, I'll be spoiling them, so if you haven't seen the movies, God would suggest that you go ahead and watch them and come back, or don't. You can listen to the video, then go and watch them. Maybe it'll make it more interesting for you. But The Black Hole was produced by Walt Disney Films. Yes, that Walt Disney. Disney may have looked harmless on the surface, looked all cute and bubbly making those cartoons, but they produced a lot of dark content. Witches or warlocks, all type of even the content to where the cartoons come from, the original content was dark. Disney has a lot of dark undertones, and yes, they made this film. Um, moving on to the film, this was initially considered to be a space themed discovery film. However, after numerous iterations from various screenwriters, we got the finished product that we watched today. This film was actually nominated for two Academy Awards, one for Best Cinematography and one for Best Visual Effects. The plot for this film is as follows. 547 days into their trip, the crew of the spacecraft USS Palomino has nearly completed their mission of exploring deep space. The year is undisclosed here, unlike in Event Horizon. Their captain is Dan Holland, First Lieutenant Charlie Pizer, journalist Harry Booth, and ESP scientist Dr. Kate McCree, the civilian leader Dr. Alex Durant, and the most standout of these characters is the circular floating robot Vincent, which stands for Vivid Information Necessary Centralized. Uh, okay. On the ship's return to the Earth, the Palomino discovers a black hole with a long lost and seemingly abandoned USS Cygnus nearby. The Cygnus has a mysterious null gravity field surrounding it that allows it to just sit in the close vicinity of the black hole while defying its massive gravitational pull. It's just mysteriously there, just sitting like close to the black hole, almost in the middle of it. And now let's compare this to Event Horizon. In the film Event Horizon, the year is 2047. See, they disclosed the year, unlike in the black hole. The crew of the Event Horizon were astronauts set on a rescue mission after the ship, the Event Horizon, a spaceship that went missing 7 years earlier, suddenly reappears in orbit around Neptune. Now, this crew is manned by Captain Miller, second in command Lieutenant Stark, pilot Smith, medical tech Peters, engineer Justin, Doctor DJ, and rescue tech Cooper. This guy is hilarious. He's the film's comic relief compared to, well, a busted old robot that's in the Black Hole film. The crew of the Event Horizon are joined by Dr. William Weir. He designed the Event Horizon and created the gravity drive that allows it to fold space-time and instantly transport the ship across vast distances. There's already similarities in both these films. Disappearing and reappearing ships after being lost in space. Mysterious technology allowing the ships to do things that are not natural. The Cygnus defying the pull of the black hole's gravity, and the Event Horizon that can fold space and create a black hole and travel through it. Now, the key character to remember in Event Horizon is Dr. Weir. He's obviously a brilliant individual. He designed the ship that's traveled further through space than any other ship. In the Black Hole film, after the crew boards the Cygnus to explore, they encounter a Dr. Hans Reinhardt, and he's one of Earth's most brilliant scientists as well. He tells the Palomino crew that his previous crew returned to Earth. He sent them back to Earth as he stayed behind. There are eerie humanoid robot-like drones that Reinhardt said he created to replace his crew and help him man the ship. He also has a red sinister robot bodyguard named Maximilian. This is another similarity to Event Horizon regarding the crew. The original crew of the Event Horizon disappeared, but later we found out their fates. They were killed gruesomely by the entity from the Hell dimension. The audience finds out that there's no hope for them. In the Black Hole film, we later find out that Reinhardt has been lying the whole time about the crew going back to Earth, and that they're actually all dead and was reanimated into the mindless robots that help crew the ship. They started a mutiny, and Reinhardt basically lobotomized them and reprogrammed them to serve him. He killed the girl's McCrae's father, who was on the ship and who the people trusted, and then he continued to kill the rest of the crew and repurpose them into these humanoid drones that I spoke of earlier. This is told to McCrae through telepathy by Vincent the robot. This is one of the most ridiculous things in that film. Yes, McCrae is supposedly psychic, but how is the robot psychic? It's a machine, so I don't get that. But just like Event Horizon, Reinhardt, like Dr. Weir, is trying to keep the crew, the current crew on the ship, as he recklessly takes it into the black hole. Now, as the Cygnus is just near a black hole that was discovered, the Event Horizon's gravity drive creates a black hole. Either way, each wayward scientist is trying to drag an unwilling crew with him into it. Now, to the part I know we've all been waiting on, and that's the realm of hell that both of these films have in common. The Event Horizon ship basically brought the entity from that dimension back with them, living inside the ship, making the crew hallucinate and possessing or influencing Dr. Weir. Dr. Reinhardt has just lost it on his own, and he wants to explore what's in the black hole for research purposes. He has no idea what lies beyond, but for 20 years of study, he's been using the probe ship and studying this black hole for 20 years. It makes him it shows him that this is possible, that at least it's possible to travel through it, though he doesn't know what's on the other side. One of the crew members tries to escape using the Palomino, and he's shot down and destroyed by Reinhardt the same way that the Lois and Clark ship, the ship that they astronauts arrived on the Event Horizon on, was destroyed before they could use it to escape. The remaining crew from the Palomino end up escaping on a probe ship that's actually been preset on a course to follow Reinhardt into the black hole. So when they get on it, they have no choice but to travel through the black hole anyway because the destination has been preset. But at least they were able to escape the damaged USS Cygnus that was damaged by a meteor shower that ended up destroying its anti-gravity generator. So now Reinhardt and his robot bodyguard get sucked in. So everyone's traveling into the black hole. Reinhardt, his crew, the robot drone crew is his robot Maximilian and the crew of the Palomino. Now, in the Event Horizon, after the ship, the Lois and Clark, is destroyed, they come up with the plan to stay on a section of the vessel of the Event Horizon that is away from the gravity drive and blow up the connecting structure in order to avoid being taken back to where the Event Horizon had been, which is the film's version of hell. There's no other way to describe this realm. Dr. Weir's possessed form calls it a place much worse. But this hell realm has people going into instant madness, mutilating themselves and others while reliving their worst fears. There is a controlling entity within that realm. This is the entity that influenced Dr. Weir and what possessed the ship itself. This all seems to be connected to the warp drive that created the black hole. This is how they were going to go back to where the ship came from. But once the portion of the ship that the remaining crew of the Event Horizon escaped on was separated from the portion where the gravity drive was, then the connection to the entity was seemingly lost, and the crew were able to drift in cryo sleep until they were rescued, even though they were still mentally affected by the events, of course. In the Black Hole film released in 1979, Reinhardt is blasted into the black hole, and he goes through this. Once the ship that he's on is destroyed, he's flying. The film shows him flying into the black hole without a spacesuit. He's just floating there with his body alone. Now he comes across his red bodyguard who was ejected into the black hole without the ship. He was ejected into a body alone, but this is a robot. But he comes across Maximilian, that red robot bodyguard, and the robot bodyguard grabs him, and somehow he ends up inside the robot's body, donning him like a suit of armor. This is a feature that was never mentioned before now in the film, but they show him inside the robot as donning him as a suit of armor, and he's standing atop a hill with flames burning below. This looks like the traditional hell, while cloaked dark figures look upon him from afar. They look like they have skulled faces. The audience could take this as he died, since he was floating through space with no suit for who knows how long. And that would mean, like, how would he survive? That's also why the black hole took him to where it took him to. Again, the film's version of hell. There's no mistaking this. That's what it, and Disney seemed to have wanted to portray that. The writers of the film, I mean, who create the producers of the film, this is what it looks like. And while the other crew the crew who followed him through, they ended up, the surviving members, they ended up passing through the black hole through this crystal like structure. You know, there was some type of floating entity that led them, that was leading them through this structure. And they came out through like this hole of light. So it was like you could tell they were showing the evil Dr. Reinhardt and Maximilian ending up in the hell realm, and then these crew members going through the black hole and going through this jeweled tunnel, a blissful like structure, and ending up out of the hole of light. The black hole released them safely on the onto the other end, and they went on and continued on with their trip, and the film ended. Now, do we know if they came out in a different time period? Who knows? We didn't get that, but they were safely able to escape and either travel back to Earth or wait on rescue. And that's how the film The Black Hole ended. But yes, these films were two similar films. Like, you could look at this as the black hole being the prequel of the Event Horizon, because they didn't disclose the year when this happened. So just hypothetically say that the crew from the black hole got back to Earth. Now in the Event Horizon, they've created this warp drive that can create this gravity drive that can create black holes. They travel to the dimension where Dr. Reinhardt is. That's where that, because that's obviously a place where that black hole led. Unless you just take it as he died and he never, this was all hallucination. But let's just go along with the premise with what the movie showed. That ship of the Event Horizon now went through the black hole and went to where Dr. Reinhardt and Maximilian are, and it picked up the controlling entity of that hell realm, and that's where it was gonna return to if the Dr. Weir was successful in dragging the crew of the Event Horizon back, or the crew of the Lois and Clark back. So, just something to think about. If you want to watch both films, hey, go ahead. Neither one of these films was too bad. They're not boring, but you'll see a lot more hokiness in the Black Hole film created by Disney than you will in the Event Horizon. But so with that being said, this is the Cool Club. Gonna end the video there. Hit the like and subscribe button. Come back and check me out on the next one. Bye. I'm gone.